Swasti, how are you?
I'm good, Vashi. How are you?
I am well. Thank you so much for taking out the time. I know it might be hectic days for you. So, thanks for that. So, before we get into a detailed conversation, if you could give us a quick introduction about yourself, who Swasti is, let us or let our audience know.
I'm an economics grad from Delhi University. And throughout my life, I've done a lot of extracurriculars. I've done basketball till nationals, karate till state. I've also done debating extensively during my college years at national and international levels. And I was really, certain that I wanted to apply for ISB while this year. That is about me.
Perfect. Any work experience which you bring alongside with your profile, if you could share test scores, that would also be helpful.
Yeah, so I actually have a gap of a year almost. I graduated in 2025 and I'm joining the 26 to 28 cohort. So I actually have a gap there, but I have multiple internships throughout my graduation and even during my gap years. So I've worked at places like Niti Aayog, I've worked at an MP office, I've worked at sustainability consulting firms like SR Asia. And recently I was working at EY as an intern. So I've not worked anywhere full time per se, but I've done multiple internships, especially in the kind of field that I probably want to be working in within future. Regards to test scores, within my CAT, I scored a 98.55 percentile. And in the GMAT, I scored 655, but I applied through CAT at the end. So yeah.
Perfect. So I think that also clears up with people, cat, and does having internship or not, makes a difference. So full-time work experience, does that add value? Great. So Swasti, why only ISB? Because that was your sole goal when you got into
Yeah.
this. So just let's get that out of the way. What made you, pull you towards ISB? It's a very new program. So you will be somebody who's going to be part of the second cohort at ISB. So why that?
So I think the reason why ISB was very simple for me, even like during my graduation, I actually wanted to apply for the YLP, but it was discontinued. And then the YL program opened up, which was like even better for me because I was a fresher. And I think the reason for ISB is that AISB is like a global name, and the kind of opportunities that would provide me even outside of the country look very good. And the kind of alumni network that they have all over the world is also something that's very helpful. But I think ISB's learning, like the way they probably go ahead and teach you, is something that's very important. These are probably cases that you're going to come across within your everyday life, etc. And I think that becomes very important. The kind of the way that I'm going to learn everything within ISB is something that was also like a differentiating factor for me. And obviously, like the name and prestige of the institution is definitely a pull.
That's true. That's definitely true. Plus, the hands-on learning which you get, and you very rightly mentioned the vast community of ISB, hands down, I think one of the best in India. So, starting with, obviously, this is now once you are an ISB, but before getting into this journey, what were your chief concerns when you started this process? Okay, MBA, how to navigate that, what sort of resources I would need, choosing a consultant. How did that come across, and how did LilacBuds help you out, and why did you choose LilacBuds?
So I had a lot of uncertainty as to like what to do, what kind of consultant to go for my preparation, because there are a lot of resources out there with a lot of people giving you a lot of differentiating opinions about anything. Whether first off you should get a consultant or not. But I was very sure that I wanted a consultant because of my gap as well. I wanted a second opinion, especially with regards to my test scores, what I should choose, what I should apply via, and all of that. So I think that was like why I was sure I want a consultant. But then I did a lot of research with regards to what are the consultants out there. I saw a lot of people who were working like just one person working with people with profiles. I saw places like LilacBuds paths where you have multiple mentors that you can choose from. And I think that is what made it sure for me that I actually want to opt for a place where I can choose from different mentors and get a mentor that's going to be probably good for me. I mean, that's probably going to be good for my profile as well, right? And then I read up a lot about LilacBuds in different platforms, and I found the reviews to be pretty good. And then I got on a call with you only, actually, and you explained the process to me, how everything is going to be done, how I'm going to be assigned a consultant who's going to work with me on my profile and everything. And I think the process sounded very good to me, and I was like, this is pretty solid. So this is probably the place that I want to go for.
Perfect. So a consultant was assigned to you. Usually worked with you one-on-one on your applications. So how was
Yeah.
that experience working with him? He himself being an ISB PGP alum, and how did that work out for you?
So I think first off, the kind of insights that he had with regards to what the college actually requires you to have, the kind of skills that you need and what they're actually looking for in your profile, was really helpful in the first place. So in the first call itself, firstly, he asked me to just keep on talking about my profile for like 30 minutes straight, and he jot down everything. And from there on, he was like, we'll move from here. And then he gave me a lot of homework with regards to what I need to do. And he also told me what are the parts of my profile that actually help my application and what need to definitely be in my essays. So I think the first call itself was very informative because I got a really good breakdown of what my roadmap needs to be from here on. And I think it was very to the point as well. So I knew what the next steps were that I need to take to, make my application a success. And I think throughout all the multiple calls that we had throughout the journey, he has been very helpful, even with my essays, and like telling me what is probably missing within my essays, what else do I need to add, etc. So yeah, I think the process was very good. And seeing as Nitin was from ISB itself, is an ISB alum, I think that was also very helpful because he was able to pinpoint the exact experiences that would stand out a lot more in my profile, that would help and boost my chances of getting into the program itself.
Perfect. He's definitely somebody who does not sugarcoat anything. He'll let you know straight up what's needed, what's not. And I think in an application process from your mentor, I think that's something which is required.
Yeah,
You can't just keep boosting you up, but you really need to see the reality. And that's how, results also come out. So great on that. So Swasti, one thing, you were somebody who did not apply in the round one. So was there
yeah.
that kind of an apprehension or an hesitation of going to round two, seeing, does that kind of make an difference to you? Did you feel anything of that sort?
So I mean, there was some apprehension in my mind because I read a lot of stuff online about how it's going to be way harder for you to get in round two, and how round one is way easier. And if you want to boost your chances, you should definitely be applying in round one. I was like, damn, like this is probably going to be way more difficult, and I missed my chance. But when I was working with Nitin at LilacBuds, I think I realized, and I think I read some, like I watched some videos of the AdCom talking about how it's probably going to be similar only, and I think that just reassured me that this is going to happen. But also, I did not really face a lot of hiccups because it's not like my percentile is 99 plus. So I was like, because I'm applying in round two and I'm below 99, is it something that's possible for me in the first place or not? So that was also a question in my brain, but none of that happened. And yeah, I think with all of the work that we've done together, we were able to make it happen. And even though it was round two, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that answers the question. 99 is not the only parameter. Getting in round one,
Yeah.
round two, it's about profile. You had that definitely. So, when we talk about that first interview call, I think that's the first barrier. How did that feel, getting that interview? Okay, I've succeeded. It's, the effort which we put into the application, it's showing results. How did that feel? Let's talk about that. Then we'll talk about how the final decision was. But yeah, how did the
Yeah.
interview, call plus how did the practice or the prep for the interview go for you?
Yeah. So, what? So I think it was first very surreal. I remember it was around 21st or 22nd of May. I was checking the portal again and again that whether my status has changed into shortlisting in progress or something. And on 22nd, I saw that and I put in a message in our group as well that it has changed to SIP. I'll get the interview call now. And it was like 7 more days, like 7, 8 more days of anticipation after that as to when I'm going to get my scheduled interview date and all of that links and stuff. But yeah, it was very surreal. I was like, okay, I've crossed this one barrier, and that made me feel a lot more confident within my profile and within my essays that there's definitely something there that's worth seeing in the interview, and that is why they've sent the call for in the first place. And I think after that we started with interview prep the day I got my schedule for the interview. I think it was 3rd May. 3rd May, I got the schedule for my interview. So I think, yeah. And then starting off with the process itself, the first call that I got on, it was with someone else, not Nitin. I think the first interview was a mock interview, but even in the mock interview, they told me that, just this is a mock interview, be calm. And I'm probably going to grill you a little bit more than what the interviewers are going to do, but we're going to prepare you for this very nicely. And I think we had like a good 20-30 minute mock interview. And after that, I got like very long feedback as to what I need to work on, what are probably the weak points that need to be fixed still, and all of probably things like adding more personal stories, etc., which is something that I did not know because I was approaching it from the view lens of an IM interview only, and I was
True.
focusing on all the technicalities and stuff. But I got to know that I probably need to be working more on personal experiences, inculcating them a lot more within my stories and within any goal that I'm trying to show that I've achieved. So, yeah, I think that was the consistent feedback that I was also getting throughout the interview calls. And even during the prep, I think like Nitin and everyone in the team helped me a lot to be able to learn how to inculcate these stories within and these experiences that I've had during my interview itself. Which was very helpful because I remember my interview was very candid. We were laughing the whole time, and I was just telling them all of the stories about what kind of different debates that I've done, what different topics I've debated, what all different places I've played in, and all of that. So yeah, I think that was like a very important feedback because at the end of the day, the interview was just about all of the stories that I've had in my life, and yeah, that helped me out.
Perfect. I think, see, obviously the interviews went amazing. We're speaking now, you got the final call. So how was that? The school I dreamt of to go into, I have an admit. How was that feeling, when you got your final results?
Yeah, I think it was like the day I got the call, I just woke up and I was checking my notifications because I'd been checking my notifications every single morning the moment I wake up for quite a few days because I was waiting for when the call would come. Because for round one, the calls came like 3-4 days after the interviews
Yes.
ended, but that was not the case for round two. So I was like very nervous. And then when the first waitlist moment happened, and then I got the notification that I converted. I think that was a very great feeling because I've been dreaming about this school for a very long time. Even when probably the YL program did not exist, I was dreaming about applying into the YLP program. And the feeling that I've finally gotten and all of the hard work that we've done for these past few months is definitely paid off. It was very motivating as well with regards to maybe what I can achieve in life if I just try to put in the hard work and all. So yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. I think, yeah, that kind of sums it up. You said it very beautifully that hard work really pays off. And
Yeah.
so, really happy for you to be joining ISB this year for your
Thank you.
MBA. So, based on your experience, Swasti, if you could share with somebody who is also, seeing this right now, understanding, okay, what they should plan when they start pursuing or, thinking of a dream for doing an MBA, what things they should keep in mind, any pointers you've learned, throughout this process.
I think the biggest pointer that I've learned is that you need to sell a whole story about what all things you have done in life and how they've been very intentional and why you have done them to reach your larger goal at the end. Even though it might be the case that you don't end up working in that space and that is not the goal that you eventually want to achieve. Once you get into MBA, you might realize you want to do something else. But that selling that story is very important, and then showing every single step, like either every internship or certification or project that you've done as a part of this story about how you've built this pathway for yourself throughout the years is very important, and how all the other arbitrary experiences that you've had, how they've also played a very big role and contributed to a lot of the skills that you have in your life. So I think that is a very, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should I restart with
No,
this?
no, you can
Yeah.
go. Fair enough. Okay. So definitely. Lastly, I would say why somebody should pick up LilacBuds for their consultant. I think that's what I would like to end with. If you have anything for that.
Yeah, so I think there are a few things on this. First off, you get the chance to you have a lot of consultants that you can actually opt from. So let's say you're like different consultants that are available to you and who would work best with your profile, and that's very important, firstly. But secondly, I think Lilac Buds has always been very prompt. So if I was sending a message in the group regarding anything, the kind of replies that I was getting were very fast, but also they were very dedicated towards making sure that my application went through and that I got the admit. Yeah, and I think it's very important that you have a place that's going to be prompt, and probably I used to ask very silly questions as well, and they were like, "It's okay, just drop voice notes, even if you think the question is like the dumbest question out there. Trust us, it's not. Just like put it in the group, we'll help you." So it's like very the people at Lilac Buds are very helpful, and I think because you probably have very different consultants for like specific programs, that also helps out a lot more because you have an insight into the school in of itself to actually what the school wants. Yeah, so I think for all of these things, Lilac Buds definitely a very great place to be opting for as your consultants for your applications.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Swasti. Thanks for this. Thanks for taking out the time. I know you'll be joining the program soon. So definitely, things are prep is ongoing. We wish to, remain in touch and all the best for your future journey.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.